Situated along 3.5 miles of the East Yorkshire coastline, RSPB Bempton Cliffs is home to a vast array of birdlife. From industrious little tree sparrows nesting in the roof of the visitors centre to brightly coloured goldfinches taking advantage of the feeding stations. But farm birds aren't the only residents of the reserve. Kestrels often hover in the air as they search the ground for mice and voles to eat, while peregrine falcons nest on the cliff tops. Bempton's greatest spectacle, however, is yet to come. From April onwards, the skies and seas around Bempton Cliffs are filled with the sights, sounds and smells of a raucous spectacle, as more than 250,000 seabirds return to the cliffs to set up their summer homes. Gannets are hugely abundant here, along with herring gulls, which are often found on inland rubbish tips. 75% of England's guillemot population flocks to the cliffs in springtime, as well as more than 500 breeding pairs of colourful puffins. Almost 15,000 razorbills live here too, with 3/4 of England's population taking to the cliffs. While kittiwakes, arguably the noisiest residents, are also the most numerous, with over 75,000 individuals contributing towards the 250,000 seabirds that flock these spectacular cliffs to raise their young on Bempton's narrow ledges. The sea and coastline around Bempton supports nationally and internationally important populations for breeding seabirds. As a result, space is highly sought after, and birds from every species must collect materials to ensure their nest is as suitable as possible, maximising their chances of reproductive success. This puffin is collecting materials for its nest. Because they prefer to excavate a nesting burrow underground or in rocky crevices, puffins tend to favour leafy vegetation to better protect themselves and their eggs from the elements during incubation. As a result, throughout April, puffins can often be seen with beaks full of leafy greens ready to take back to the nest site. Gannets are one of the most aggressive species of bird in the world, with almost all behaviour being expressed as a form of aggression. Since gannets nest within a beak's reach of one another, moving to or from the nest triggers aggressive jabbing and threat behaviour between neighbours. However, these scenes of aggression are not always hostile. During courtship, gannets stand breast to breast with their mate, sometimes holding their wings outspread and clashing their bills together. This serves to channel aggression and strengthen the pair bond before mating. The vigorous nape biting and foot pattering by the male help copulation between the gannets to last far longer than in most large birds. Ejaculation is accompanied by a brief climactic immobility, after which the male slowly releases his grip and dismounts. At Bempton, as with every seabird colony, eggs are laid at different times throughout late spring and early summer, depending on species. Beginning with the razorbills and guillemots in April, right through to the fulmars in May and June. Kittiwakes typically lay 2 eggs, also in May and June. These eggs are incubated in the nest for around 4 weeks. Throughout the incubation period, similarly to other birds, the adult kittiwakes will adjust the position of the eggs with their feet before swiftly sitting back down to continue incubation. Turning the eggs is vital to the development of the young, as it ensures that oxygen being absorbed through the shell is spread evenly throughout the egg fluid. This allows the entire embryo to receive oxygen, and as a result, ensures uniform development of the unhatched chick. After the month-long incubation period, the tiny kittiwakes hatch covered in a white and grey down, which helps insulate them for the first weeks of life. Guillemots and razorbill chicks too hatch with a thick, woolly down, which helps protect them from the harsh clifftop conditions and high North Sea winds. While these herring-gull chicks have a thinner, more camouflaged down to help them hide from predators. Gannet chicks are Bempton's largest and fastest growing, hatching at a mere 60 grams before increasing their body weight by more than 6,000% in just 3 months. As they develop, the chicks from every species become more active and grow not only in size but in confidence too. And this is in no small part down to the sheer volume of energy-rich food they eat. Chicks will peck at the beak of their parents and loudly call out, indicating their need for food. Once a parent is aware of the need for food, they will leave the nest and fly out to sea to forage. The adults can store the catch in a throat pouch called a crop. When they arrive back at the nest, they regurgitate the fish directly into the chick's mouth to ensure that none of the precious nutrients go to waste. After around 6 weeks, the young kittiwakes have grown significantly and are now old enough to fledge. Fledging age varies from species to species, with some gannet chicks taking well over 12 weeks to develop the necessary strength to leave the nest. From late June, chicks from every species up and down Bempton Cliffs can be seen building up courage, itching closer to the edge, before they finally make the great leap of faith towards the waves.